welcome back to TNW Techno Nerd Gaming. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to back with my video. We're talking about what is the greatest Royal Rumble of all time and what is my favorite Royal Rumble of all time. And I always love this time of year. This is the beginning of the road to WrestleMania. The road to WrestleMania. And the Royal Rumble has always been the launching point of WrestleMania. Is the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble, 30-man, over the top rope. And whoever wins get the number one contender spot at WrestleMania, becoming the main event, going on to main event the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania. So I listed about 5 WrestleMania that I loved, and if you know, I just want to know, what is your favorite Royal Rumble of yesteryears? Leave it down in the comment section down below and share what is your favorite Royal Rumble and why. Down below. Tell me why. I listed a couple three of my favorite Royal Rumble is 98, 1992. 1992 was one of the great. I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. And this right here, 2003, go back and watch it. You got the WWE Network, go back and watch it because it has one of the greatest undercard matches of all time. Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle, a wrestling clinic. I don't tell you. I just told you one match, and that will lead me to WrestleMania 2003. Royal Rumble 2003. Talking about one of the greatest WWE Championship matches. It's kind of weird because they had 2 World Championship matches on this card, but one of them was the West World Championship matches, and that were Triple H and Scott Steiner, and the WWE Championship with Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. Two of my favorites growing up because I enjoy Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit, unfortunately, what he did was wrong, and I think he's paying for it right now. But after that, Chris Benoit was one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. And you lock up with the greatest wrestler with Kurt Angle. It was so beautifully matched in how everything, it was suplex after suplex, hold after hold. I'm gonna show you clips of that. During this video, you see clips and photos of these guys matching up so well, and it was one of the great. If you have the WWE Network, go back and watch it because they put on a show. And at this year's Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar won this year Royal Rumble and went against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19, and it was a very good match at WrestleMania 19. Brock Lesnar won the WWE Championship off of Kurt Angle, and there was Kurt Angle last WrestleMania. It wasn't Kurt Angle last WrestleMania, but it was his last WrestleMania competing because he had to have neck surgery the following after WrestleMania 19. So he had to be out for a long time. He been out for at least 2 years because of that neck surgery. But 2003 was an awesome card. I think the Dudley Boys went against Los Resistance, and they won. Los Resistance won the World Tag Team Championship. So it was a card top to bottom of great matches. I loved it, and I'm gonna talk about. I'm not talking about that. I'm not gonna talk about this last, but 1998 was a good year for professional wrestling, um, because number one, because number one, it had Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was at the Royal Rumble, and they were leading to him refereeing at WrestleMania, refereeing the main event at WrestleMania. So, um, this card was great because you had Goldust versus Vader. It was an okay match, but I enjoy Vader matches. Some would be in WCW and New Japan, but I think he been underutilized in WWE. But he put on some good matches, regardless of how he was booked. He put on some great wrestling matches, even though he was misused sometimes. But Vader was, he never changed the gimmick. But I wish they had done more with Vader. God rest his soul. Um, but and another match that I really enjoyed was The Rock versus Ken Shamrock for the Intercontinental Championship. That was a great match. The Rock, that was a star-making performance with The Rock. Then when he became, this was the rocket ship going toward The Rock. The rocket was on his back, and you'll see the beginning of the year he becoming more confident on the microphone, more confident in the ring, more comfortable with the fans. He was getting booed like "Die Rocket Die" chants in '97, and he became the most hated heel in the company in '98. And when he brushed off and became who he is, he owned it. He owned it. He finally owned it. He owned the heel persona, and that's what made him become the biggest babyface in the company. And it was just the first step of him becoming the WWE Championship in the late stage of '98. The late stage of '98. So that was a great match with Ken Shamrock, and Ken Shamrock was very underutilized in WWE for the main part of '97, '98. I think because of his attitude, but he been misused at some point. But he became Intercontinental Champion, European Champion, Tag Team Champion. But he didn't win that World Championship. But he's still Hall of Fame in my books. The Royal Rumble match. I can't say more about this match. This match had everything. You had the few points of the 1998 Royal Rumble was, for the first time, you saw Cactus Jack, Dude Love, Mankind in the Royal Rumble match. Not at the same time, but when Cactus Jack get eliminated, he came out with Dude Love. And when Dude Love got eliminated, you came out as Mankind. So they built up Mick Foley very well in '98. Like he was Mankind. Mick Foley was the focal point of the Attitude Era. People who talking about the Attitude Era, they talk about Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, but they never talk about Mick Foley. But Mick Foley played a big part in the Attitude Era. Played a huge part in the Attitude Era. And he had been misused. They used Mick Foley to their advantage. And that leads them to the Royal Rumble 1999. That I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. Because 1999 was a pretty awesome year for Mick Foley. But we talking about 98. The winner of the Royal Rumble was Stone Cold Steve Austin. They built the Royal Rumble as Stone Cold had got a bullseye on his chest. And then they want Stone Cold to win the Royal Rumble. Or he won the Royal Rumble last year and he got a bullseye on his chest to win it the second time 2 years in a row. And he won it 2 years in a row. And a little bit of a fun fact. Stone Cold Steve Austin had won the Royal Rumble 3 times. In 97, 98, and 2001. The first superstar to win the Royal Rumble 3 times in a row. That like a little bit of a fun fact. And that's like how over Stone Cold was with wrestling fans. And last but not least, the memorable part, the most memorable matches were the Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels in a casket match for the WWE Championships. And this is the match where Shawn Michaels had back injuries. Started his back injury because he injured his back on the edge of the coffin. When you go back and watch the match, when he was thrown over the top rope, his lower back hit the edge of the middle coffin, and that started his downward spiral in his back. And like he had to wrestle, and he won the match, but he had to wrestle injured at WrestleMania 14, and they had to get the title off of Shawn Michaels and give Stone Cold for Shawn Michaels to leave and get surgery. And I think he never wrestled after that WrestleMania 14. He never wrestled WrestleMania 14. He never wrestled after WrestleMania 14, and he became like the GM of Monday Night Raw in the late '98 and early 1999. And then he took a break after that, and he made his triumphant return in 2006. I mean 2002 against Triple H. So that was a great Royal Rumble, top to bottom. Like he had some